I mean, you know what I mean. So
I'll start muting people.
I kind of like the idea of an hour of just tossing around. It's better than any other script that we would have had. So, folks, to be honest, we did this a couple of times with 2024, where we came onto the camera post Hajj to have a chat. But then the big difference, what's actually happening here with that is, when you mute someone, does it take them off camera?
It looks like it, yeah.
Right. Okay. Nobody take it personal. Okay, folks. It's all love. It's all love, especially the Canadians on Canada Day, because we are very much honoring you folks as our younger brothers, actually our younger step brothers. Yeah, because, you know, I mean, don't get too excited. But Jazakumullah khair for everybody coming on camera and testing. I don't know why you started muting everybody and didn't start with Shaib, and we had to look at his mug, for the whole. You could have started with him first, and then, you know what I mean, kept Adonis till the very end. There we go. Adil, well done, bro.
I'm just following the order of names here. Nothing personal to anybody.
Yeah, fully personal. We get it,
no
bro.
preferential treatment to anybody, I should say.
Yeah, clearly. Not. So this was an opportunity to touch base. The big difference, I kind of felt that we forced this live stream through more out of FOMO than anything else. FOMO for last year, FOMO of doing something. FOMO of not doing something that we know was appreciated last year, and that was the reason that we've done this. But the big difference last year, of course, was that we didn't have the masterclass video, the one that you guys saw, the last Hajj video. That was the big difference. And as a result, with that video, with the decision to give that dedicated video and focus on its messaging, which was very important to me personally, and from the feedback that we're getting, it was important to you to hear that. Essentially, the main function of the live stream is done. We do like to do a reunion, a virtual one, but it's a bit further down. Normally, when the things have kind of quietened down, and we normally, I think, did that on Zoom, because there's no way that we'd think that it's stable enough to do that on Telegram. So that kind of makes this live stream a little bit, I don't know, without a cause per se, other than the feel-good factor of having an opportunity to be able to speak to you and whatever. So I guess to make it of benefit, I guess what we could do, I could just feedback on the last few days, or the last few weeks, I should say. But what I really want to do is to make Nazia talk. And I want her to, because she really, really wanted to. She said that, can we please schedule this at a time before I go into theatre? And I said, Nazia, for you, the whole world. For the whole world, Nazia. The stars and the moon and the planets, like this. Like this. So Nazia, it's all yours, bro. Take it away. People have been clamoring for you, bro.
I have nothing to say. I'm going now. I've got work.
Yeah, but I think that what you were saying is that because nobody even knew who you were, number one. Number two, because nobody saw you doing any work. Number three, it was this chance and opportunity for you to show that you are actually real. Right? Number two, that you show them that you do actually work, that you could have theoretically worked there as well, but because you do normally work. So that's good if you show them that. And number three, what I'm really, really looking forward to is that they realize that you should have been that Bengali translator for all of the Bengali aunties, okay? You let them all down, right? You let them all down. I was reading the feedback and I had a big smile on my face. We should have had a translator speaking to all the Bengali aunties. You, bro, let the whole masses down. You let all the masses down.
That's because I was depending on Tanveer with his posh Bangla.
Bro, Tanveer hasn't got one word of Bangla. One word. With the biggest coconut the world saw since Bounty, bro. All right? The world's biggest. My goodness gracious. Nazia, show us the Theatre of Dreams, please.
Theatre of Dreams. It's the Royal Oldham. It's behind me somewhere.
Listen, they think you're an actress, Nazia.
I do a bit of acting on the side, but that's just.
we know. We saw it during the Hajj. Don't worry, we know. So, are you not going to share any wisdom with these people, bro?
They're all really wise anyway.
Is it? You're not even going to plug a class, nothing. You absolute waste, man. I swear to God, the worst Qabila member that history ever saw. How many people?
Abid is waiting. Abid is all ready and waiting.
How many people did you see at Nostalgia? Was it Nostalgia?
There was. I'm sure I saw.
Can you give us the names, please? Can you give us the names, please, Nazia? Can you give us the names, please, Nazia?
Heel, Rest, Jess, and who else? There was somebody else.
Did you
There's about 5 of us.
Did you actually just name your 2 Alpha team members and trying and another Al Maghrib Qabila member trying to make out this is how much you're invested in my Hajj, yeah?
They were there.
Jazakumullah khair, Nazia. Have a great night at work. Okay? Act it away. Barakallahu feek. Take care. You are free to go. Abida, it's all yours, bro. Share us something of benefit. Barakallahu feek.
Alrighty, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I don't really have a lot to say myself. I mean, I've been dropping my reflections. I think I've been keeping the flow going, to be honest with you.
I can't believe that you've been backslapping yourself from the very beginning, that I started everything off, I started everything off.
Well, I mean, I may as well. You know, you got to keep. It's rare that I do something of benefit like this, so I thought, may as well. Milk it whilst I can. But no, I suppose I have been thinking about the whole Hajj process myself, and I actually wrote about it on Instagram. That's where I do my reflective afterthoughts after the initial thoughts. So yeah, I suppose that whole hope for a miraculous makeover hasn't yet happened. I'm still that same old annoying Abida, still got the really bad habits which I was hoping I could have dropped, but have not yet done so. So I suppose the way that I viewed my Hajj is that it is an anchor. It's going to be the thing that I look back on and use it as a point that I reflect on regularly. It's going to be me holding myself to a greater level of account, to now understand that Allah gave me opportunity to be purified, inshallah. So if that is the case, then I have to now be hyper aware of the times that I slip, and that if I do slip, then, you know, how am I going to rectify myself? You know, take those opportunities for istighfar, really embrace those. And actually, I think that's probably one of the things that I have probably done a bit more of, being aware of the fact that, yeah, the bad habit, when it does come back in, you know, being aware of it, and then a quick turnaround on it, and hoping to kind of dismiss it and hopefully do something better after it. That's kind of been where my focus has been since returning. I've obviously, with now everybody who has read that reflection knows about the challenges at home, so I suppose I really hoped that Hajj would be a means of a greater level of resilience and strength in dealing with the situation with Mum. It's obviously miraculously not been that, so there's work to be done. It's continuous work that's going to be done, but I'm continuing to pray that I know that from what I saw with Dad, that Allah gave us the strength and the ability to cope when we needed it the most, and I'm hopeful that that's exactly what Allah will do for us when it comes to Mum. So yeah, that's my reflection so far.
Barakallahu feek, Abida, wafaqakillah. And of course for Mum, we ask for al-husn al-khatima, as you know. And you know, Yasser's in town, Sheikh Yasser. He's on his way here. I think he's left or whatever, and he'll be, for those folks who are not this next week, sorry, not this Friday. He's going to be in town this Friday. He's going to be in town next Friday. He'll be at Cheadle.
11th of July.
Yeah, next Friday. My apologies. But I was speaking to him yesterday. I don't know why I thought that he was in town. Sheikh Walid was in town. I can't believe I mixed up those two. But Sheikh Walid left today, and Sheikh Yasser was just saying that he's delaying his trip because of his father, who is in a very similar situation to your mum, Abida. And the idea of which is the tough one, which is what kind of dua should be made for folks like that. And there's that massive kind of awkwardness that other people feel, right? Do I make dua for shifa? Do I make dua for ease? Do I make dua for, you know what I mean? Especially when we know that death is close for elderly. What else is it meant to be? That terminal conditions are X what they are. That when a condition is not terminal, but is just, for example, dementia and the like, which can last for years or it can last for a few months, what the level of appropriateness is. And I think that the important thing that he mentioned, which is something that we've been always trying to remove the awkwardness around, is that there's no such thing as a wrong dua, right? It's about human support, and just making people feel as supported as possible, because it's not human, it's not right Islamically on both sides to not to become paralyzed in making dua for a person in that situation, but also on the other side reacting emotionally against people who just genuinely have got no idea what to tell you or what to say to you or how to help you. It's horrible actually to be making them feel bad when they're already feeling so helpless, so bad, and whatever. And it is important to give people the confidence to make these du'as for husn al-khatima. Husn al-khatima, their best ending, is not some hopeless statement that we're just condemning you to a death sentence and die away. Husn al-khatima was a du'a that was said to people in the very best of strongest parts of their lives, right? Let alone when a person is absolutely not in that scenario, or when they're ill, or when they are elderly, or whatever, then it becomes even more obvious that dua should be made. And that's not saying that a person shouldn't be cured, or that shifa it's not being intended. Actually, all of it's being intended. It's the greatest of things to say. Husn al-Khatimah covers every angle. And I think it's important for all sides, the ones making dua to have the confidence to say that, but also the family members of those that are struggling to take that in the very best of spirits and the support. But Tabarakallahu feek, I think that before we take this to the most depressing angle ever, we need the opposite of depression to take over. Yes, Danish, Mr. Canada boy, take it over. Give us some good news. Tell us about new life that's coming. Come on, bro.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Happy to see everybody here. I joined a bit late, so I don't know what are we doing exactly here?
We're doing, Danish, what you've
done. I thought you were supposed to give a reminder, Sheikh. What happened? We were talking about
already given 3 reminders. Okay? And let me tell you what you're doing here. You're doing here what you did exactly during the Hajj. Absolute Jack Diddley Scott. Okay? Jack Diddley Scott. You did absolutely nothing all the way through Hajj. Just walked around like this, like that. Okay?
Not this one. That was last Hajj, Sheikh.
The
hat was thick this Hajj.
Listen to me. I would suggest as your reminder on Canada Day, right, representing the great nation of Canada, I would suggest that you earn brownie points with this group and tell them what you are going to do, bro.
Going to do what? In when? I have no idea. Right now I'm answering some work emails.
You're going to become the MVP, bro, of this group. People are waiting.
So I guess we're just giving reminders, yeah?
Oh my God, we're talking about the AV side, bro. You and your reminders. Take your reminder, put it in your pocket.
Inshallah, yeah. I guess the next steps would be to get some maybe content out that we recorded over the last little while.
You think? Yeah?
Actually, to that point, the feedback forms. I've been reading a lot of them because I'm managing this in the back end, and there's been some really good feedback in there, Chef. So far, I don't know if you read it. But those of you who have not shared your feedback, please do. We take it very seriously. Like I spent a good amount of time reading and going through everything yesterday.
You know the worst part about the feedback is, Danish, is that we made it thingy. We made it we made it anonymous.
But that was on purpose, Chef. We wanted people to be able to voice whatever they wanted to.
There's no way I can target the haters, bro. I can't now send pizza around. Can't send pizza around to all the places, all the people's addresses that I've been targeting. Bro, there was some absolute zingers in there, bro. Absolute zingers. There were I think two of my favorite is one person in the comment section where you're meant to give your overall kind of assessment of what's going on and what my main piece of feedback. and it was just some random person. That's the greatness of it. It says, how on earth did Nader end up with Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar? I swear to you, that made me laugh so much, bro. That made me laugh so much. I'm telling you, man. And then now they're obviously getting all guilty and all feeling all bad. He goes, by the way, I'm just in case, I absolutely love being with AG, blah, blah, blah.
That is a real MVP. That is a real MVP. I'm telling you, man.
What a blagger.
The guy had that little fan from Tigo. He bottled it so hard.
He bottled it so hard, bro.
You can tell it on you can tell it on his face. You can tell it on his face. It's just like, ya Allah, why me?
So, guys, I want to share something with you, okay? First of all, unbelievably small number of feedback responses. So after this, make sure you fill in the feedback. And please feel free to cuss away. You need to cuss more of the right people. Instead of cussing the chief, we need Danish to be cussed and Widad to be cussed. Okay, these are the two that need to be knocked down a peg. Chief was born to be cussed. He puts himself forward to be cussed, and he just wants to be cussed all the time. Whereas these two, they don't expect to be cussed.
You know the best thing about the feedback is like, yeah, some people were a little bit militant, but we understand why.
I honestly think, I was thinking about this, Danish, that somewhere we need to make some of the responses in the anonymized way public. Because there's some really funny ones. I'm going to read out to you the one that made me laugh the most, okay? It's the easiest winning statement. Are you ready? All right. I'm guessing it's a she, because there's too much style in this statement to be a male, right? Okay. She goes, she's talking about the rooming, okay? She's talking about the rooming, right? And, she's questioning the wisdom of the idea of using the different, AI categories, right? Names, names, idea of matching people. Now, let's see, obviously, there's age, there's snoring, there's AC, there's X, there's Y, there's ethnic origin, there's language spoken, there's, these are important parts. So my girl was clearly placed into a room with only Bengalis, okay? Right? She goes, I just want to say, I wanted to mix with and to get to know people from other countries. One of the main Hajj experiences is with people coming from all over the world. I get to mix with Bengalis the whole of the rest of my life. Oh my goodness gracious. I swear to you, bro, but I was drinking at the time. I bloody made a mess everywhere, man. It was absolutely hilarious, bro. A couple of people said that we wanted to go and meet all the Nigerians, all the Pakis. You put us with the Bengalis just because we're Bengali. I do Bengali all my life. I'm mixing with these people all my life. I'm cursed all my life, and you made me go through it in Hajj as well. And that was a common feedback. So we need to go and test the AI.
I'll tell you my favorite feedback. This is probably from her sister as well. She says, stop hating on couples that have chosen each other for their Hajj journey. And yes, we do sit with each other at home. LOL.
You know what it is, yeah? The amount
I think that's gonna like that one.
The amount of people
you should post Sheikh Mohammed Faqih's little video.
Oh, that's what we should do. You see, we should have sent them with Muhammad Faqih, Shazad. That's what we should have done. Couples, we should rename his Hajj the couples therapy Hajj.
Correct. Yeah. From now on, all couples
with Muhammad Faqih. He's my boy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. He's my boy.
And all the men, make sure you've topped all your bank accounts 100%. Before you go, yeah? Because you'll be surprised what he says.
That's the Kidana package, because couples deserve only Kidana, okay? If you're looking after your lovely, beautiful wife that everyone keeps gushing on about in the bloody thing, the amount of bloody awards given to their wives and the amount of bloody awards given to their husbands, yeah? Unbelievable. I want you to realize that this is not the trip for, this is a Manji Bistar program that Widad tries to revive but doesn't really believe in. And the couples therapy is to be found in Kidana at 20 grand a pop. Then couples lovey-dovey your Hajj out just like you want it. That's one thing that we need to start pushing actively, actually. All right. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say, by the way, just now, jokes aside, there were some really, really good ones as well. There were some really, and this is the thing, right? We're very confident about everything that we do in the program, many years of experience, but you always learn something new. Always, always, always learn something new. And every year that, we observe, things that happen, most of the times it's in the mistakes or in the kind of, the situations that mess up that you learn something. So there was a couple of suggestions. One which I don't know why we didn't do it, especially with the increasing number of people who vape and use e-cigarettes, that we should have asked that as a question. And that was something that we missed, because there are a lot of people who are absolutely addicted to that behavior. And it only makes sense that that should be, in a room. You can smell that fluid. It's not hardcore nicotine, but you can smell that liquid stuff, whatever it is, the fruit or whatever it is. So that's, I think, a very good suggestion, which nobody has ever given before, because it's been never ever expected before. Again, it's an oversight. You're always thinking, everyone's coming and dropping that kind of stuff, whatever. But in this new time where people have done the major kind of big jump, which is to drop smoking, people are now caught up in a bigger fitna, in my opinion, now, which is the E or the vape alternative, which I don't believe to be any, not significantly less harmful, slightly less harmful, but it might have other issues. And the other thing that I benefited from was to do with some room etiquettes that we should have focused on in terms of the lights. So I wrote some notes, and we still haven't done our proper analysis. And the reason we haven't done the analysis is because the numbers are still too low. This is just my own personal reading, informal, anecdotal. Myself and Danish, we were just making sure that the form is fit for purpose last night, and so we've just reviewed them. But yeah, shout out to everybody that if you haven't done the feedback form, then it is taken seriously. Unfortunately, it is anonymized, so you can get away with murder. But it's getting boring, Yanni. It's getting boring that everyone's just attacking the chief. Can we attack Yanni Danish instead and put him in place? Because the guy literally, there was about 4 or 5 people that said, yeah, we like walking around to see Danish Yanni smiling sheepishly, doing nothing. Yeah. By the way, the absolute classic.
The AV team. I just want to say the AV team is always saving lives. لو كانوا يعلمون.
لو كانوا يعلمون. That's true. But the problem is that people don't know. And the real question is that why is it that they don't know? Right? That's the real question. We need to now study this. Is it because they were given no indication? Is it because they were not given any So I'm telling you, Danish, that I even said to you that you're going to be the MVP in what you're to offer, and you're like, what's that then? Oh, feedback form. Oh, okay then. You owe these people videos, bro. You owe these people photos. You've not even given them a photo, bro. It's been a whole month.
Inshallah.
We've been back. How long have we been back?
It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Something like that.
3 weeks we've been back.
I was out of it for 2 weeks with like a really bad chest infection. I just want to say.
That blocked your fingers. That blinded you. Chest infection. There are some people that couldn't move from bed, bro. And you had a chest infection where you were coughing. And you couldn't give these packies one single photo. You tight.
What's the rest of the AV team, man? Why am I getting all the heat? That's right. Who else was even there?
Unbelievable. Everyone died in this.
You need to read one of his head. You just need to read one of his head.
Listen to me. You best get busy. These people are not taking any prisoners. They want their Hajj movie. They want their long form movie. They want the highlights. They want the group photos that have been properly edited. You lazy packy, right? They want the movie that's made from the Instagram thing. That's 5 products off the table right there.
That's really about 3, but yeah.
Right. Okay. What do I want to speak about next? Hold on. Leave me alone, Danish. Now you're making me thingy. What's the other thing?
You were getting team reflections, Sheikh. That's what you were doing. Don't just throw me under the bus and not the rest
What
of
do you
the
think
team.
this is, bro? What do you think this is?
And the rest of the team. Like,
I
there's your
can
dad,
tell.
there's the man, there's the
Oh,
reader.
right. I thought that you were saying to me that I needed to give my reflections. Okay, thank you.
Well, we're still waiting for your written reflections,
Shut
but
up. Just shut up. Just butting it right there. I've been giving reflections day and night. Day and night. By the way, I just want to share my reflections from having to go to Jeddah, okay? Taking one for the team, right? And absolute wasting a whole week. That's not true, actually. 3 days, yeah. But still wasting 3 days. But the whole thing was saved right at the end. Unbelievable thing that I saw that actually cheered me up and gave me hope for the state of Saudi Arabia or kingdom, whatever it is. Yeah, the kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the future. Because every year how depressing it is and how even some of the folks mentioned it, the plastic wastage and thingy, whatever. They've started a new recycling thing for plastic. I saw the thing. I was bamboozled, bro. It's sick. And I took a video of it. I'm gonna send it in announcements, inshallah. But it's basically a way where they earn credits. So the more people are now being encouraged, just like we used to be with milk bottles, my generation anyway. I don't know. Yeah, well, you used to gather them, and you'd get a free bottle of milk at the end of it. But this time, that you get as many plastic bottles you stick into the thing, and don't need to take your top off or anything. Just stick it into the machine, and you have an account, and it builds up credits, and then you are able to use those credits to buy certain things, which is great. So hopefully that's going to be the place that I was taken to, about Al Bayt, to where they've introduced it, is now going to be upscaled. So let's see how far that goes. So that was the one positive thing. Rest of it was complete waste of time. And all those folks who are hating on the Mecca welcome, and that I won't say Markabu Miskina is all alone trying to defend, and everybody else hating on it. I have to say that that if you'd seen the welcome and all the shenanigans in Jeddah, you would have said that the Mecca one is the greatest thing ever. Just on that, by the way, even though I absolutely hate it, right? And because I don't know how serious people are taking that or not, whether people are actually like really offended by what happened to them. Kind of feel that from one or two of the reflections that some people really did take it too seriously. I detest it. I detest it so much that those people who unfortunately saw me, they saw how I bypassed it. I got off the train. I got off the bus. I gave Shoaib, I gave Shoaib. That's why I can't stand Shoaib. He used to stand the packy of the whole world. I gave him my bag and I said, take it in. Yeah, go through the flowers and take my bag in. And I turned left. So I turned left and I went down the hill and I used the other entrance. So I went around the entrance, the normal one, the Quran Museum one, and then I went up the elevators, the entrance that would come back from the Haram walking, and I waited there, and then I took a left into the lifts, and I basically avoided everything. I'll share this when you get my reflections in 3 years' time. When and I thought I made it, I got my bag and everything, got to the room, and then I went to dinner. And when I came to sit down for dinner, I got flipping gripped by the head of Al Bayt, who was sitting there waiting for me. And then I was obviously, called out for trying to blag it. And why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And bloody whole flipping political headache. But anyway, so I don't like it. But I don't like it because I don't like any of that lovey-dovey bakwas. I don't like flowers. I don't like couples. I don't like all this rubbish. It's not a religious view. I just want to make that clear. I do not have a problem with it, Islamically speaking. I think that is actually very nice for people who come from far away to be honored and respected. I do believe, as much as a cynic I am, as a skeptic that I am, I do believe that Al Bayt do take their responsibility in front of the Hujjaj seriously. I think that we saw that. I think that I don't think that's in question. I don't think we should be questioning that intention either. And I believe that they think it's valued. And I can tell you this much. I'll tell you this much, that the most eye-opening piece of feedback that I saw, that they did some workshops there, is the massive number of Hujjaj that want that thing to happen, which was a massive learning point for me personally. Because I would have thought that the majority of the people like me, like, what the heck is this? This is too much. This is overboard, blah, blah, blah. But it's the opposite. The majority of people really like that thing or appreciated the one-off or anything like that. At the head of those people is Jazad Salim, because he absolutely lives and dies for that every year. And you'll see that if you watch him when he comes, he walks through and then he reverses and he walks through it again. Yeah? Just so that, you know, he... just so that he can get the double maza. So that's Jazad Salim. That's my reflection on the welcome to Mecca and to Mina as well. I think that I don't think it's against the ethos. I don't think it's anti-ethical. I really don't. And I think that it's a display of happiness. The Sahaba were always happy to see the Prophet ﷺ do that. He never did that to anybody else. He honored folks by giving them respect. We have a chapter in Bukhari about how he would receive guests, but there's another chapter on how he was received. And when he was received with flowers and people singing and the kids dancing and the like. And you know, that balance is important. You know, that it might be not something that's in line with your own tabi'ah, your tabiat, as we say, is your own, you know, your own khwayish, your own culture, but doesn't necessarily make it something which is haram or distasteful or whatever. On that note, I want to say what I think that I've already said multiple times, what everybody is sharing, how great the reflections are. Again, shout out to Abida for kicking things off. That's the one that gets all the reward. It gives the rest of the people the proof of concept, because obviously, you know, I know and I really do appreciate how much trust you have in me, and I have no doubt that you would have someone else would have written it or one, and then people would have realized how beneficial the process is. There's not a single person right now, the biggest hater even amongst all of us, will have to accept that the memories reflection exercise as a reading exercise and as a writing exercise is not just catharsis, but it's benefit, it's unifying. It's a blessed activity. It's an act of worship to reflect upon one's own actions, one's own weak and strong points. It's something I'm incredibly proud of myself. Okay, and that I can't say that about many things, but about that I would take absolutely all the credit. And I've never seen a negative. And the ones that are the most, sometimes the most negative in the reflection itself, and the most depressing and the most emotional, are sometimes the most beneficial. And they're the ones that I look to a lot. I really appreciate when people are more raw and more honest. That's the ones that you benefit most from. Certainly I do anyway. And I want to say that, you know, some were really, really good. I mean, there's a lot of really good writing, which is to be expected in a large group of people. But I also expect some really high quality reflections. And I don't want to claim I don't want to fall victim to recency bias, but Zahir's thingy, Zahir's reflection email, which I think was the last one, or last but one, was full of some excellent learning points. And I would highly, highly encourage every one of you to reread it again. Okay, I thought it was very, very impressive. And that's not to say that the others haven't been. Of course they have. And that's not to say that there haven't been really, you know, good learning points. But I was really impressed with some of the thinking that was going on, and that's you know, the real benefit of these pieces. People see things, people experience things, different lenses, and you can open up your own eyes as well. So again, Jazakumullah khair, and please just keep that coming. It is an interesting point as well, which I'll bring up now for the team, and I'll bring up for everybody else. That whilst at the same time, and Naeem, I don't know if he's here. Where is Naeem? Naeem, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
So the important point here is, you know, about the concept of email. We asked the question in the feedback, as you know, and you've seen how well it works. And the question is that would people be as expressive if it was in the Google form, and the truth is that they would never be as expressive. And that means that it can't be put into a very neat, presentable form like we did with the introductions. What's your thoughts on that, Name?
I would welcome everyone. I would say I've been thinking about that actually from an email perspective, but I don't think Google Forms is the right way to go. But I think there might be some other techniques that we can use. I think it does need to be in a nice and readable format, although the emails have been formatted pretty well overall. But there may be some options around that we can look at to make it a bit more readable for everyone.
So you see, Name, it's not just about format and about easy to read. When it comes to writing introductions, it's all about easier to write. Not introductions, sorry, memories, right? Like I fully have the intention to do that, right? And inshallah, I will be doing my 2025 set. But the way that it's done is multiple collections in different locations using drafts. I find the email draft concept, especially on Gmail, which you can pick up obviously on all devices, a very useful thing. But it's more about anybody that does any kind of writing knows that they need as empty a page as possible and as large a page as possible, right? When you are in, it doesn't matter if you're in a Google sheet and you leave it free type, just the fact that it's just a single line or a few lines, it kills the vibe, it kills the creativity. And that's what we're going to struggle with when we're looking at an alternative option. I mean, email essentially is just a blank page, right? Allowing people to use their laptops. And what would be, one question we missed out on, what we should have put in the feedback, is how many people wrote their reflections on a phone. And I think that I'm hoping it's like single digits, I'm hoping, but that would be, and if that number turned out to be like a large number, like a 60% or 70%, then I think that you've got your evidence for you to go ahead with your approach. I think, though, that it will be the other way around. I think that the vast majority would have gone to laptops and computers and taken their time over it and a couple of drafts and documents, and it will be 80s and 90s, high 80s and 90s. And that then automatically takes you out of Google Sheets and apps and clever things, and it moves you into email. And then that begs the question, are we going to create or have an email system solely to be able to allow the reflections to be as powerful as they are? And I'm telling you now, while Widad has a heart attack and goes into meltdown, that alone would be enough of a justification to have an email addition to the whole kind of thing.
I think, I've read them as well, and I think you definitely have a point. And I think in this scenario, they do work really well. And sometimes, if it ain't broke, then there's no need to fix it. But we should review it to see if there's a alternate option that we can utilize in a similar way. But yeah, I think it does work well in this scenario. Absolutely. When you look at the way that they're structured and the way that you can just read through everyone step by step, it's that free form is quite good. I think we will review it and I'll look at what the options are for that when we go into the subsequent years.
This is turning into a team meeting, Sheikh.
Listen.
Why are we discussing how we're going to format reflections for next year and the years after in front of 140 people?
Listen. This is the most transparent Hajj group on the planet. Okay,
honestly,
we're all in it together. Transparent. We're all in it together. Abid, Doc is basically died, by the way. He's half vomited it 3 times, and he's just died now. He's asphyxiating on his own vomit right now. The amount of transparency and openness is too much for him. He's like, what the hell's going on? Right. But I actually think it's very important. I think that people can't express as well, I don't know. But anyway, we can maybe put a poll up and find out. Right. Honestly, having done the Hajj video and spoken about that, and also one of the really strong feedbacks that we saw from the form so far, even though it's not enough, it's only 70 odd, but was the way that people did not like the way that we repeated things, and that's a very, very valid point. And I'm conscious about that right now. Like from a content point of view right now, what would be the content that I would share as a reminder right now? But the post-Hajj blues, blah, 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 which we spoke about on the final day in base camp, did a Hajj video on it, masterclass video, which they saw. And now I'm saying it again. And it was a very valid point that folks that in base camp found that the sessions from 10 till 2 that we did over a couple of days was just repeating again the masterclass videos. Now, of course, we knew that and we justified it, or I justify it in the programming, because I know that people didn't watch the masterclass videos. I know that people didn't get the masterclass videos. I know that people need another reminder. But there was still a huge number of people that did get the masterclass videos, that did invest the time in the masterclass videos, that were asking the question, well, why are we having to hear this again? Why are we being reminded on the same point again? So I think this is, again, and this comes up all the time. And obviously, I am a teacher. I understand the game. I understand the importance of repetition. I understand the differences of people. And that's why it continues. I'm not ignorant to that. But I do find that at some point we might need to address this. I don't know how you hit a happy medium. But anyway, the application of this point now is that I don't think that I should be now repeating the same reminder again. I think it'd be nice to. Yeah.
I was gonna say I was really surprised to see what percentage of people actually watched the masterclass videos. I thought it would be much less than it actually was.
I agree. I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised, and I was Danish, there's two things that surprised me. One was the number of people that watched it, which was more than we thought, agreed. But also, two, the amount of people that didn't struggle with the content that I thought that would be too technical. That was a thingy. And I guess, we have to give a shout out to the guy who was putting the subtitles on the screen or whatever it was. And although, why did you not share PowerPoint on it, as one person said? That made me laugh, bro. So I think that what we'll do is that for the next, so we're going to close this in 20 minutes, okay? That's when Salah starts in London. In the next 20 minutes, maybe we can share with what people either want answered or something to be mentioned or spoken. I will, by the way, tonight, inshallah, I'm going to get to the fiqh section if there's anything outstanding there. I'm not too sure if there is. And I'm catching up with my general chat, whatever. I can't believe people think that Zakaria got married over the weekend. Zakaria got married before Hajj, folks. He's just sharing the walima, the pictures, as nice as they were. People are thinking, what's going on? And what else did I want to say? I wanted to, Can you guys? So I don't want to go in and mess up my general chat algorithm thing, because I like to go through it and I like to react to the stuff that I like. So is there anything there that people are there any kind of sentiments that
I think people want to. I think somebody mentioned that they wanted to hear Jiva's Scottish accent.
Bro, the amount of people that have no idea what's going on. We do need to do that next time. Yeah, if you think about it, people, those who were part of the flight saw their video from their guide, but the other folks didn't. We need to have a folder that just has the videos of the guides in there, so that people have no doubt about who the folks are, and especially Jiva from Scotland. They couldn't understand where she was. Where were you, Jeeves?
In Birmingham, unfortunately.
So you were
for my sins, of course.
The absolute worst possible opposite to Scotland, humanly
I've got two options. I've got Oldham or I've got Birmingham. So I'm kind of like.
Bro, what the fish? There's no comparison between Oldham and Birmingham, bro. Oldham has a biscuit factory, bro.
Yes.
Does Birmingham still have Cadbury's?
Yeah, of course.
What do you mean, of course? It's made in America.
No, the factory's here. The afternoon tea and tour and Bourneville. They do everything there.
Bro, Bourneville is easily the worst product that Cadbury's ever made. What are you talking about? Nobody
but
cares.
but it's on. Okay, the Brummies are gonna have to go in the chat and like correct us here because I haven't been to it, but all I know is it's called Bourneville Street, or the location is Bourneville, and the Cadbury's factory is there in Birmingham, and
Yeah,
they've got
but
purple.
explain to
They've got
me
purple
if
lampposts.
Kraft bought it, ruined it, made it all in America, yani took out the real milk, added all the sugar bakwas, yani destroyed it forever. But still, it's the best chocolate in the world. But I want to know what's actually being made in Birmingham.
I have no idea. I just saw Sahil comment. He's saying, I'm so disappointed with the Scottish accent."
It's crazy how people there were people like they were saying
that's all because of Zakaria. You know that's all because of Zakaria, because of his reflection.
100%. 100%. There were people who are calling out Maysara for not making herself more visible. They're like, how dare you, Maysara? There were things that are making me laugh in these comments, bro, I swear. Right. Okay, so these, what else is people asking for then other than their disappointment with Jiva?
Someone wanted to know where Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar is, why he's not on the call.
Listen, guys, you guys want to slow down. Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar.
Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar, for everyone's information, he's the one team member who doesn't attend any of the team meetings, is not involved whatsoever. Like, he doesn't do anything before Hajj. He just shows up, he leads the prayers, he gives us beautiful reminders, and he makes up for the 11 months before Hajj that he didn't do anything. You're not going to see him before Hajj. You're not going to see him after Hajj. You see him in base camp, maybe in the Mecca and Medina hotels, and it's all worth it. He makes up for the other 11 months of the year. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. It's a genuine MashaAllah at the end as well. A genuine MashaAllah and zero hate. Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar has a lifetime exemption from doing anything. That's why if you saw on his bus that if he didn't see Milad around to help him, he'd go into meltdown, right? He needs a bus guide to do absolutely everything for him as well. He is the exempted one. He's the one who keeps my mind sane. He just starts reciting and everything then starts making sense again. We're calm again. We're ready to go again. That's all he needs.
Someone said, is he hibernating? It's a good question.
Listen, Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar is the most active there at the masjid every day. Anybody wants to... I want to give a shout out to Zaid. Zaid here from Stockport. I saw him, I don't know whether he saw me actually or not. I don't think he did see me, but this made me laugh because it was, I want to say it was about 10 days ago. It was about 10 days ago. And it was Fajr prayer on Saturday. And Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar leads every Fajr other than Tuesday and Wednesday. All right? So he's there every Fajr other than Tuesday and Wednesday, which is his day off. And Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar doesn't live in Chido. He travels in. So it was the Saturday, I want to say, after we'd come back. So everyone's still in the zone. There's a lot of the Hujjaj in the masjid in Chido coming, and whatnot. And I was seeing, most folks every day. And at Fajr time, I see Zaid, right? And when I saw him, the immediate thing that I thought is that he's coming. He wants to enjoy a nice session from Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar. Nice, lovely, long quality Fajr. And instead, Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar was not well that day, and so he didn't come. And there was some kid who had stepped forward and was leading the prayer. And the level of disappointment that I felt in that room, that he's come all that way to make it tribal Fajr, he's not local, done that traveling, and Miskeen got that recitation. Honestly, I felt bad for him, Zaid. So shout out going to you, bro. That happens to us all the time, but most of the time he's there. He is an exemption to the rule. He doesn't have Telegram. He installs it. I don't even think he installs it. Right? I don't think whatever. He doesn't need to do anything. We do all that.
No, actually, no. I did notice that he had read some messages in the Alpha group chat.
Alpha group chat, because well, that makes sense, isn't it? Because without the Alpha group, he was dead. Yeah. So he had to be active at least in the one group that was going to save him. Yeah. So yeah. So that's the Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar. Good question. Good question. We're going to put it to him today. By the way, he still shows a lot of love to the Hujjaj, but you got to, go up to him and remind him. That's all. Just the year. But he's very good at it, by the way. He's very good. Shout out to Amir and Asma. I saw in Yens yesterday in Longside, mashallah, in the middle of the street. And I saw a few other people here and there. Right, yeah, go on. Anything else, Pete?
Somebody did have their hand up. I think it was Ghulam Muhammad. I can't see it up now.
No,
Did you want to say? Come on.
No, I don't think so, bro. Just from the chat, just from the feel, I mean, over, not specifically, we don't want to make it a Q&A session as such, but if there's anything that folks want to kind of talk about, or is there a message that I need to put out? Is there something I need to emphasize or reinforce or whatever? Again, whilst you're all thinking about that, and on the chat, please feel free to, suggest something that you want to hear in the next 10, 12 minutes. I want to say a few things about upcoming stuff. So the marriage thing, I will share a video, which we launched it in December. Not a matchmaking service, not anything like that, but just a list where men and women register themselves and gives them a safe space essentially to introduce a few people. And it makes sense that if they're within like a single program, like the Umrah program or the Aqsa program or Pakistan program or the Hajj program, at least they know each other. And so that is one of the that's one of the functions of the marriage thing. It will be a form. You just fill in your details, and then if we think that there's a potential possibility of a few people that you might consider, then we'll let you know. That will happen over the next few weeks. It's taking a bit longer than we thought. Memories, of course, is important for you to continue with. The Al Bayt lot also sent out a feedback form via email, as I understand. So if you got that, then you should respond back to them and tell them how amazing we, of course, are. Our feedback form, I think we need answers to on that as well. And then activities. Some of you obviously made it to the retreat because you had applied before Hajj. Some of the girls here, those who are thinking, how on earth did we miss out on the retreat? First of all, the retreat sold out in one evening. Okay, the evening that it actually got launched, it was essentially full. It's a ladies only one this year. Next one will probably be in 4 or 5 years time. It won't be something that will come around again. So just, I know that women were trying to message some of the team and say that how do we get on? That was closed in February or whenever it was. Whenever it was launched, or whatever, I think it was February or March or something. Then next year's one will be the male one. Okay, it will also be very, 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 very popular. And that will be next September 26th, but it will go live probably in January or February of 26. The most important place to be is on the Telegram group for logical progression. So again, over the next few days, I'm going to be catching up on messages over there, which I've kind of left to the side for the last month or two. So be part of the logical progression chat and Telegram channel as well. We restart, I want to say, around the 10th or 11th of September. Okay, so there's still some time left for that. You know that in Scotland and in Birmingham, there's going to be 2 Al-Maghrib classes that I think that you should keep an eye on. There's a lot of, there's obviously the reunion on the 26th of July, is it, Abida? Yeah, in Glasgow. And that reminds me, by the way, Abida, articulate, okay? I want the Qabila to get Sheikh Walid articulate. The board game. All right, just remind me, yeah, because we were speaking about the different things like that. So there's a few classes coming up, and I think that's about it, roughly, in terms of things on my side that I can think of immediately. What else, guys? Anything from the chat?
So on the chat, there's been a request to talk about the upcoming tours, the Aqsa and Umrah tours, and also I don't know if you'll have time for it, but women praying in Jama'at and the issues, or for those who are not familiar with it and how to navigate that, has been requested. But maybe if you wanted to do that for the
yeah. So first of all, let's speak about the tours. So Aqsa is obviously a very, very, very important program for us every year, which we've not done now for nearly 2 years, and we were meant to be there June 22nd, but then obviously the thing happened with Iran, and so they closed the airspace, and so our flights were cancelled, and so we couldn't go. And so the next program is going to be September 18th, I believe. And we are absolutely committed to that. And I highly encourage people to not bottle it. All right. A lot of people are like talking about, oh, it's going to be dangerous. It's not dangerous for anybody like us, right? It's nothing of danger. And if we thought that it was a war zone, then we would not be taking a group. So people need to have more something about themselves and recognize that it is important to go and represent. And you don't need to represent in Aqsa. You can represent everywhere and anywhere, whether it's via BDS, via boycotting, via writing, via telling your kids, via keeping the things alive, via arguing back on Glastonbury, arguing back, on the radio, speaking to your work colleagues and pushing back against the kind of crap that they're pushing right now, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Everything is on the table. Everything is a form of resistance, including going there physically and occupying the masjid. We need to also recognize the power of occupation. And an Islamic occupation is as, if not more powerful than their fake occupation that they do, which is condemned, and whereas ours is one that is asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be done by the believers. It's called al-ribat. It's something which is well known in the Sharia. And so anyway, that's going to be at the September 18th. You'll see that. However, you need to know two things. Number one, from the Dar es Salaam, meaning the people who are organizing it, from their side, they're as great and as Islamic and as brilliant as they need to be working with me. And so they would give refunds to anybody that if the trip got cancelled, they are being helped in that, I may say. So there's always two aspects to a cost, yeah? These are land-only packages, so the airplane, the flights are separate. So there's two aspects to a cost. There's admin costs. So you have obviously people who are paid full time to do that kind of thing. All of the sorting, and that's what it's called, admin costs. So that's the company of Dar es Salaam. And then you have the cost of the hotel and transportation. Now, Dar es Salaam from their side are willing to waive the admin costs as long as the cancellation is done early enough as such. And that's what happened in June, and everybody got a refund in that sense. When it comes to the hotels, then they've been very flexible. And so the hotels themselves know that if Dar es Salaam have to cancel a program, they're not going to charge them. So that's how they're able to refund the people the money that can't go in the end. On the flight side, though, you are alone. You are buying your own flight, and you are buying that flight, by the way, in conjunction with advice from Dar es Salaam. Now, when it comes to buying that flight, we are telling absolutely everybody that you need to pay extra to make sure that it's of the relevant class that allows the ticket to be refunded, right? So a refundable ticket in case of whatever. Now, it is true that some people have been able to get refunds on tickets that weren't the more expensive refundable type of class, but that's a very risky approach. And so I would heavily advise that if you are going to go and you are buying the ticket that you are advised to get on the airlines, you are advised at the times that you are advised, that you select the option of refunding, of getting that ticket refunded. And it costs more, but then it's peace of mind. Also, especially going from the UK, no excuse to not to have travel insurance to cover this. From America, Canada, we obviously learned through Hajj that your travel insurance situations are horrible and it costs a lot of money, and so we can understand that. So that's the next program. The other thing that I would really recommend is the September Umrah program. It's an absolute bargain, by the way. They were able to secure that hotel. It's a different hotel to reduce the cost, and it's therefore an off-season kind of program, because most of the Umrah programs that we do are in school holidays to allow children to be taken. So the next ones are going to be in the December school holidays, and then probably in the Easter school holidays of 26, very likely, or half-term, UK half-term holidays and UK Easter holidays. So those are 2 trips that are going to be in school holidays, and their price reflects that. They are super expensive. Peak seasons, peak prices, airlines, whatever. And the reason I like the September program is that it allows the rest of the people to come who can't afford those stupid prices, and maybe are not tied down with school and kids, or their kids are very young, or they don't have any kids. So that's the September program. It's going to be the 25th of September this year. So I would highly, highly recommend folks. Obviously, when we spoke about in the feedback about the Hajj program, there are things that are intentionally left out because it's just not easy and not in the light of the pressure of Hajj to be including them. Whereas in Umrah, we can go fully in. So Uhud is a different experience. The Quba is essentially the same. Baqiyah is a whole different animal. And then some of the museums that we go to is different. The Umrah program is different, much deeper version of the Hajj without obviously base camp and Arafah. So that's an update on what's coming. In terms of the Jama'ah, that did come through in the feedback as well. And I don't know how that is to be done other than other than a Q&A session, I guess. A Telegram Q&A, like a live stream where, I put the phone out a bit further and I demonstrate and stuff like that, which I don't have a problem with. I could, do that in a couple of weeks. I'm a bit busy with work for the next 10 days, I want to say. But I think that can be done. So why don't we do that? And team, if you guys remind me to put that forward, and then in about 8 days, we'll do a live stream and we'll make it a Q&A to clean up and mop up all of the other outstanding questions, as well as go into a bit more detail and not necessarily questions, but chapters like the congregational prayer and how women should, specifically, it seems like many of the women had a problem with the Jama'ah. They struggled with that. Allahu A'lam, yeah. What else? Without anything else there?
I've been wanting to disagree with your opening statements for the whole call, basically.
What did I say? Remind me?
You were saying that we scheduled this call out of FOMO because people in previous years had a live stream.
You know why we scheduled this call and you flipping kept quiet. I said to you what we're doing. Because you didn't say a single thing, I had to make it up on the spot.
Here's what I think happened. I announced that we're going to do a live stream without confirming with you first. And then you were kind of like, what is this live stream about? They have the masterclass video. Yes. But I firmly believe that it's important. I don't care if there's a masterclass video. It's very helpful and really nice, mashallah. But I think there's a value to having a call after the Hajj. I've never understood people who are like overly ceremonious towards shuyukh and kissing their hands and stuff like that. I've never related to that. So I've never understood when they say stuff like, oh, there's special barakah in having the sheikh here and blah, blah, blah. It just felt like very fake to me, but I think you do underestimate just having you here and on the call and having people hear from you like live rather than on a recording. We have this discussion with LP all the time. Like sometimes we debate whether it should be a live class or a recorded class. And there's something different about live. I think there's everybody knows there's benefit in keeping good company. And so I think having a call, even if it's to just make fun of Danish and joke about Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar and whatever, it does help people. So you guys might have felt like we're just, doing this call because we have to or something like that, or because other previous years have done it. But I think it's very important, even if I think 75% of it is a waste of time. It's not in the end. It's not. There's definitely
there was a compliment in there somewhere, she.
Yeah, somewhere in there. You have to dig a little to find it. No, but it's true. It's true. I think the importance of stuff like this can't be what is it? Overstated, understated? I can't think straight right now, but I do find it very important, and it's kind of.
When are your reflections coming out? What's all this rubbish?
Honestly, I opened Microsoft Word June 16th, I think it was. I got like 12 pages out, and then I haven't looked at it since. Yeah,
so exactly. I just knew that this is
Can we also
you of all people,
hear from like Tanveer and Osman, who have been like the silent observers of this call? I mean, I think the masses have clearly
Tanveer, Abida, Tanveer has been in prison. Okay.
He's always in prison. Man's always
I mean, his freedoms have been curtailed. He's in prison. He's been body searched. The guy, yani, he's not in a good mood. I don't blame him. I think that when he comes home every day from work, it's not like yani, me and you getting home every day from work. The guy has been body searched. The guy has been checked to see whether he's smuggled anything in through his cavities. There's no fun, bro. It's no fun working in a prison. All right, so
the group is so savage. Somebody just said it's been worth it to see Tanveer nodding off live on camera.
I'm rethinking all of my criticisms. I think you're right. I think it is worth it. Just the idea that people will think that the chief is actually ever going to write a single sentence in love or anger. I think just that fake hope, is worth it. I think that them seeing Tanveer actually in the flesh. By the way, some people give Tanveer a shout out. I don't know whether you noticed in the feedback, huh, Danish? Danish, thank you for Tanveer.
Yeah, mashallah.
Mashallah.
Why am I getting so much hate?
Tanveer was there for the people, man. I saw him working the late nights, like answering the questions and
I was on
in between
TV
his
every
naps.
night.
Bro.
Brother was working. Between his naps.
All right.
Which we don't count against him because you need to have a fresh mind to answer those questions. Some of them are,
I got no idea, Yani, why you think that you need to be defending Tanveer right now. He's not going to be saving lives. He's not going to join AB team. He's not done a single thing to help Yani his cause with you. But I guess you're just.
Maybe it'll make God, Some maybe people, you never know. You never know, man. You never know.
You're right. I don't know, bro. You're right. I don't know. Right, guys. Jazakumullah khair on this auspicious day, Canada Day, the greatest of all days, and a day that we were so happy to build around the Canadians, lest they ever claim that we don't show them love. And then to the rest of the Brits, Yani, that the time felt very comfortably, allowed you all to finish for Maghrib. We definitely hear you on the criticism of the late night live streams. Blame Widad for that. We wanted each one to be 1 hour long, and yet she was just keeping on encouraging tangents that would make it go 3.5 hours long. Like, who the heck would speak for 3.5 hours? I mean, goodness gracious, Widad, please rein it in next time. And to the Americans who felt somewhere in the middle, then Jazakumullah khair for all of you. Please keep up the presence in the chat. I'm going to dive in and have some fun now after Salah, I think. And the memories, I don't need to remind you all. The feedback form, please. And look out for the marriage stuff coming soon. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka Allahumma wa atubu ilayk.